you can start the presentation, okay?
Okay, we're live on YouTube and we are now recording.
Perfect. So welcome everyone. My name is Adnan Malam Hassam and I work with the Student Recruitment Office at the St. John's campus, and I will be the moderator for this session today. So thank you very much for joining us for this Faculty of Business Administration academic session. If you're a prospective student, a parent, guardian, a guidance counselor interested in learning about the programs offered by the Faculty of Business, this is the right session to be. Our panelists work closely with students, and today they will start with a presentation of around 15 minutes, and then they will be here to answer all of your questions. Before we introduce them, let's go over some housekeeping items. First of all, this session is being recorded, so if you're participating, you're consenting to that. Your mics are muted and your videos are going to be turned off because this helps us with the bandwidth. As a result, you're only going to be able to see yourself and the panelist, but you're certainly not alone. This only helps us facilitate the session, and if you have any questions, which I hope you have, please use the Q&A feature located at the bottom right of the WebEx platform, and please select to all panelists. Do not send it individually to panelists because we will not be able to respond to you. And if the Q&A does not work, you're more than welcome to use the chat feature as well in the WebEx platform. So today's focus again is on the Faculty of Business Administration. So please try to keep your questions related to that. And if for some reason we do not have a chance to get to your question, do not worry, one of our staff members will follow up directly with you. So with this out of the way, I'll hand it over to our panelists for introductions and the presentation, and I'll hand it over to Denise, Ashley, and Peter.
Thank you so much, Adnan. So lovely to be here this evening. We're very excited because we have new programming coming on stream in the Faculty of Business Administration. So this is actually our first presentation with our prospective student audience. So we ask for your patience as we try to deliver this information to you for the first time. So my name is Denise, and I am the manager of academic programs here in the Faculty of Business Administration, and I work in the academic programs office. And I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Ashley, who will introduce herself.
Good evening, folks. My name is Ashley Holloway. I am an academic advisor as well as an exchange coordinator for our undergraduate students who are here studying business. I'm really excited to have you here this evening, like Denise mentioned, and we're thrilled to tell you about our new programming that will be onboarding next year. I'll pass it along to my colleague, Peter.
Oh, you're muted, Peter.
Thank you. Okay, so my name is Peter Goodridge. I'm a fourth year commerce student here at Memorial. I'm currently on my second work term of my co-op program in the academics programs office with MUN and the Faculty of Business. That's been going really good so far, and I'm looking forward to this presentation.
Excellent. Thank you, Peter. So we'll get started. I will just give you a brief overview of what you can expect in our presentation. I know Adnan mentioned that we were going to be about 15 minutes. I think we're going to run a little longer, but we will leave some time for questions and answers at the end. So our brief agenda for this evening, we're going to talk a little about our faculty, admission into our new programs, and of course, our programs, careers in business, how to shape your student experience. And towards the end, Peter is going to give you a very brief virtual tour of our facility here, which you can actually see behind Ashley this evening. So Ashley, I'll ask you to go to the next slide and we'll tell you about our faculty. So we have around 2,000 students each semester here in the Faculty of Business Administration. They are studying both online and on our campus. We are offering 2 undergraduate programs, which you will hear about in detail when Ashley begins talking. We also have an average class size of 40 students, so relatively small class sizes as you progress throughout your undergraduate business program. And our students excel in case competitions and are widely recognized as being some of the best teams in the world. So we're very excited by some of our accomplishments over the years with case competitions and the like. We have very generous alumni, and we are very pleased that we distribute over $200,000 in scholarships and bursaries each year. We established the first co-op business program in Canada, so that's pretty exciting. We've been offering co-op education here at Memorial for 50 years, and we also can boast a 100% placement rate. We don't do that a whole lot, but we're very pleased to say that our students who are part of the cooperative work term, cooperative commerce program are often very successful in finding work term placements. We're the first business faculty in Atlantic Canada to receive the AACSB International Accreditation. So we're very proud of maintaining that standard. So I'm going to hand it over to Ashley right now, and Ashley is going to give you an overview of our programs, which we will be offering. So they will certainly have a new fresh appeal when you begin next year in September of 2022. And Ashley's going to tell you about those updates. So over to you, Ashley.
Perfect. Thanks, Denise. So as Denise mentioned, we will have 2 undergraduate programs that will be available to you when you begin your studies with us in fall 2022. If you're intending on pursuing a business program, you will want to indicate on your application to the university that you will be planning to study in Business 1. So Business 1 is the first year of both of our undergraduate programs. They have a common first year, and I'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. After year 1 of your studies, that's when you'll submit an application to your program of choice. So whether that be the Bachelor of Commerce program or the Bachelor of Commerce cooperative program. So the Bachelor of Commerce program, normally students complete this program within a 4-year time frame if they are completing it on a full-time basis. This program can be completed either online or on campus, or a combination of the two. This program is really great for students who might have obligations outside of their studies, if they want to, take things at a slower pace, or they can complete 5 courses a semester. That program is also ideal for anybody who is coming in with a larger number of transfer credits. So if you've spent a year or more at another institution and you're transferring to Memorial beginning next year, the Bachelor of Commerce may be a great choice for you. In contrast, the Bachelor of Commerce cooperative program is a 5-year program, and this program has 3 cooperative work terms. So when it's all added together, that equates to a full year of work experience that's integrated right into the program. I should highlight as well that both of these programs have the same core courses, and I'll show you what those look like shortly, but they both cover the same fundamental business courses that you would find in a general business degree. Both of the degree options do have the ability to focus in a particular area of business as well, if you find as you're moving through your program that a certain area of business is standing out to you and you'd like to focus in that a little bit further. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. But in contrast to the Bachelor of Commerce program, the cooperative program is more rigidly structured, with students completing 5 courses in each of their academic semesters. We also have 2 joint degree options there as well. So students pursuing a Bachelor of Commerce program may also be able to complete a Bachelor of Music at the same time. Of course, there are auditions as part of the admissions process for the Bachelor of Music as well. For the Bachelor of Commerce cooperative program, students who also have a strong interest in an area within humanities and social sciences, they may choose to complete both degrees at the same time within a 5-year time frame. In addition to those options to combine multiple interests, students pursuing either the Bachelor of Commerce or the Bachelor of Commerce cooperative programs do have the opportunity to complete a minor, so a secondary area of study in an area outside of business, like from humanities and social sciences, science, or the School of Music. Or they may choose to pursue another certificate or diploma alongside of their business studies as well. So as Denise mentioned, our programs are accredited by AACSB International, and we've held that accreditation since 2002. And recently our programs went under review to ensure that we still maintain that excellent reputation and that students are, considered as high quality graduates when they enter into the workforce post-graduation. So here are some highlights of the new programs. As I mentioned, we do have the two undergraduate degree programs that we offer, and they have the common first year, which is Business One. So Business One will start in fall 2022, which is when I hope that most of you will be joining us. So students would complete that Business One and then submit an application to their program of choice beginning for year 2. We do have some new courses integrated into the curriculum as well, which we'll highlight too. Some professional development opportunities that are built in there as well. The programs are competitive entry, so to get into your choice of program, you need to have a 65% minimum average in your Business One in order to move on to either the Bachelor of Commerce or the Bachelor of Commerce Cooperative Program. And I'll talk a little bit more about the courses that are found in Business One in just a moment as well. You'll still have that same flexibility to focus your studies in a particular area of business if you would desire that. And we do have the two different options there to suit you best. So whether you're looking for the more flexible option with the Bachelor of Commerce program, or if you're looking for the more rigidly structured program with the work term option, we have that as well. So for those of you who are going to be entering Memorial from high school, as I mentioned earlier, you will submit your application through apply.mon.ca. And if you've had an opportunity to sit in on some of the earlier sessions, I'm sure they've chatted about admission and admission requirements to the university. So on that application, you can indicate that you are going to be studying Business One in your first year. Normally, students would begin at Business One in fall, so that would be September, beginning in fall 2022. Direct entry into Business One is subject to meeting the university admission requirements, as well as your admissibility into a calculus-based math course as well. For transfer students, if there's any of you joining us here this evening, you can declare Business One in your first year as well on the application to the university. And also once those Business One courses are completed, you would then submit your application to your program of choice. As for the application deadlines, this will mostly be relevant to you after you've completed that Business One first year. So there are intakes for the fall, winter, and spring semesters. So these are the classes that will comprise Business One. So the first year is quite broad. It's the foundation to your university education and for the rest of your business studies. So as you can see here, Business One includes 10 courses in total, so 30 credit hours. Each of the courses is worth 3 credit hours here at Memorial. So you can see there that there are several courses that are in bold. So Business 1000 being one of them, English 1110, as well as Math 1000. And the reason that they are in bold is because they are very important prerequisites for a lot of our higher level business courses. So getting those courses completed in your first year will definitely ensure a smooth pathway through the program, and also having a good solid foundation in math and English from your high school will also be a benefit for you as you move through a business program as well. So as I talked about there earlier, you'll want to have a minimum 65% overall average on these 10 courses, and then you'll submit your application of choice. And the applications for both programs, whether it be the Bachelor of Commerce or the Bachelor of Commerce Cooperative program that you're going to be pursuing, those applications will be available for fall 2023 onward. So these are the curriculum updates that we just wanted to include here as well. We're really excited to be introducing some new courses beginning in your second year, so that fall 2023 semester when you start in either the Bachelor of Commerce or the Commerce Cooperative program. So we're introducing some new courses into the curriculum, like business professionalism as an example, computer applications, business analytics, to really keep the curriculum current and up to date. Some other core courses that you can expect to complete as well would be in the areas of accounting, entrepreneurship, business law, human resources, and finance. And on top of that as well, something new that we're introducing is that there are mandatory business professional development seminars for all students in the Bachelor of Commerce program as well as the Bachelor of Commerce cooperative program. And what those seminars will do is really help prepare you for the workforce post-graduation, teach you about business professionalism and whatnot, so that you're acquainted with the workforce and that you're prepared to go on for whatever might meet you after graduation.
Ashley, before you go forward, can I get you to go backwards, please, to the Business 1 slide?
Sure. Yeah, here you go.
I just want to let students know that this is still fluid information. So until the calendar is released in June or July, certainly our regulations won't be posted until that time for the program. So with respect to English, there will be another choice there for students who are entering Business 1. So 1110 will, English 1110 can also be another CRW course or another English course. So that is a new change to the first year of our program. Additionally, we are anticipating another option for students with respect to math. And that information will become available as we get closer to the winter semester and we begin the advising process with you as first year students. So just keep that in mind as you review information about our programs in the Faculty of Business. Thank you, Ashley.
Yep, thanks for highlighting that, Denise. Another thing as well is that Denise alluded to it as well, and they probably have talked about it in other sessions too, is that in the spring, any student who's applied to Memorial can certainly avail of academic advising. So we will be available to you to help you choose your courses. So you don't need to, rush to write all of these down right now. We will be in touch in the future to ensure that you are able to get on track for Business 1. Okay, so as I mentioned, the Bachelor of Commerce program can be completed either on a part-time or a full-time basis. So this is a possible course sequencing here for students who might want to complete the program on a full-time basis, so within the 4-year time frame. So there would be 10 courses in each of the year. As you can see there, it is highlighted in bold for year 2. So prior to the start of year 2, that's when you would submit an application to enter the program for fall 2023 and then continue through the remainder of the program. And for the Bachelor of Commerce cooperative program, this is our 5-year option. And as I mentioned, it has 5 courses in each of the academic semesters. Again, starting in year 2 of the program, you can see there under fall academic term 1. That's when the application for this program will become available for you to begin in fall 2023 and then continue through the remaining 4 years of the program. I'm also going to highlight on the next slide here as well. This is the schedule for the Bachelor of Commerce cooperative program, perhaps in a little more of a digestible format for you. So year 1 is Business 1, followed by year 2 begins with term 1, and each of the academic terms are numbered. And you can see in blue there when the 3 work terms take place, followed by a final academic year. So moving along to concentration. So as I alluded to earlier, so both of our programs have the opportunity to focus in a particular area of business, or you might want to take upper level courses from multiple different areas of business. So we offer informal concentration. So essentially students can choose what they're interested in. They're not bound to taking courses in just one specific area of business. So there's about 10 different areas here in total that we do offer various business electives in. Students will normally complete electives in these types of areas of business, say from year 3, 4, and 5 if they're completing the cooperative program, or years 3 and 4 if they're completing the Bachelor of Commerce program. So once you have a good solid foundation of all the core business courses beneath you, that's when you can choose to branch out into specific areas of business if you so wish to. There is a star there next to a few of the different areas like accounting, entrepreneurship, finance, human resources, as well as marketing. Those tend to be the most common amongst our students, or popular amongst our students, and we tend to offer courses in those areas most frequently as well.
All right, so that's a great segue for me, Ashley, by highlighting those concentrations, so thanks. We're going to talk a little now about careers in business. And business is really a multifaceted degree program. It can lead you down a number of career pathways. Some students may decide, they're going to focus in a particular area, which will be some of the ones that I'll highlight here, and start a career as an accountant or a human resources professional. Other students may decide that they're going to use their business program as a starting point to go into law school. We have a number of students that do that on an annual basis. We also see students apply to medicine. So it's a really great foundational degree program. Some of our students, however, when they come into our program and they start with those introductory courses that Ashley has highlighted, really fall in love with a particular area within business. And 40% of our students actually fall in love with accounting. So we have a really strong accounting program here. A lot of our students, as I mentioned, just really pursue this particular avenue and go on to become, a chartered professional accountant, so go on to receive that designation. The students who pursue that field can become an accountant, they can look at auditing, becoming a taxation consultant. So there's really lots of just different areas to pursue. Another growing area here within the faculty is entrepreneurship. And we see that both in the classroom and interest in our courses, as well as the centers that are a part of our faculty, such as Memorial Center for Entrepreneurship. We are seeing so many startups that are starting here in business in our faculty through the MCE, through the Genesis Center here at Memorial University. And these folks are really going out and having tremendous impact in the community and starting opportunities for students like you who will be coming up in the future. So really great entrepreneurial things happening here at the university. Another area of interest is finance. And students, when they pursue finance, can study financial management, analysis techniques, working capital management, long-term and short-term financing. So there's some really great things happening here through the fund, which is one of our student-run organizations. And we will tell you a little bit about that before we end the presentation. Human resources, another great area. Maybe you're not so much into the quantitative side of business, so the numerical side. You might be more interested in the human side. And so we have students who go on to become human resource specialists. They get involved in labor unions. Maybe they work in recruitment. So we'll advance to the next slide there, Ashley. And I believe we might have to flip ahead there to a slide. There we go. So another area is information systems, which introduces the types of information systems, managing information systems, resources, and so forth. Students in that particular area might become a systems analyst, a systems designer. We also offer marketing. A lot of students, I know Peter, who's working with us this semester, is interested, I believe, in finance and marketing, still trying to decide which way to go. And who knows, he may end up following both pathways, maybe starting out as a marketer and ending up in finance. And that's the great thing, as I mentioned, about having, background in business, because it can really be multifaceted. Operations management is another area which examines productivity, forecasting, material requirements planning, waiting lines analysis, and so forth, and supply chain management. If you've turned on the news at all in the last few weeks, You've been hearing about supply chain, especially as we approach the holiday season, and we realize, you know, there's shipping containers that are stacked in areas throughout the world, and really just having a crunch on supply chain. So when you study supply chain management, that is what you study, and a very exciting time right now to be in that area. So we're going to just go to the next slide. And this is a sample job that's been posted. And when we advance to, I won't get you to advance yet, but really this position, you're meeting with customers, you're working closely with an engineering department, customer support. So there's a number of different skill sets that are required for this position. And having an academic background in business can really just give you, you know, all of the skills and the academic knowledge that you need to go out and, like I said, just have a career that can be really multifaceted, just like this job. And this job is asking for a degree or diploma in engineering or business. So again, showing you the flexibility of a business degree program. So we're going to, I think we missed a slide there on advising, but I'm just going to fill you in that folks like myself and Ashley and colleagues that work with me here in the academic programs office, we are here to help you through the process of coming to university and assisting you while you're here. It is so important to seek advice and get the information that you need. And the attendees that are here tonight, that have been sitting in on the presentations, maybe the influencers, you know, parents and family members that are sitting with students who are planning to come to Memorial, you are already going down the right path of seeking information. And that's what we want to tell you. Seeking advice is the key to your academic success. And we are here to guide you throughout your degree. We're here to assist you, to help you clarify any academic interests that you have, how you can kind of match it to the career that you want upon graduation, and how to help you navigate the university system and use the resources that are available to you. We have an excellent web page. We'll give ourselves a little pat on the back. The website link is noted there, but if you go to business advising, I'm sure just search that on the MUN webpage. You will find us, and there's lots of great information there to help you and to guide you into first year. We are still in the process of updating information regarding the new program. So it may not be quite as robust as what we're hoping to have in the coming months, but it is, you should have enough there to guide you, to give you the information that you need to get started for September. So we'll talk a little now about how to shape your student experience. So the first slide is just going to highlight some of the clubs and societies that we have here in the Faculty of Business. So some of you may have heard of Enactus Memorial. There's Enactus organizations throughout the world. It's an international organization, and we're very lucky to have, you know, a really strong Enactus club here in the Faculty of Business. The fund is raising or earning, I should say, thousands of dollars. It's a really exciting opportunity for students who get to play with stocks and learn to invest monies. And right now, they're well over $200,000 that they've raised, which is an exciting time for students who become involved in that opportunity. We also have a marketing association. We have our BOSS association, so Business Administration Undergraduate Student Society, which has been quite active, I know, and doing all sorts of activities this year. We have a peer tutoring support program here in the faculty. We participate in academic competitions. We've been hosting Business Day for over 50 years right now, which is an exciting opportunity and an event that our senior students get involved in. We have lunch and learns that take place here. We have the Center for Social Enterprise, which is doing amazing things to help social enterprise, I guess, organizations throughout the city and surrounding area. We have the Husky Center of Excellence in Sales and Supply Chain Management doing great things as well, offering internship opportunities for students. And I've mentioned as well, Memorial Center for Entrepreneurship. If you haven't looked at any of these centers that are part of our faculty, I would encourage you to do so because they really help complement the academic work that we're doing here in the Faculty of Business Administration. We also have, we're connected with Student Life, and through Student Life, some of you may have attended a presentation already about Student Life opportunities. We have the Student Volunteer Bureau. We also have career development, and we offer the counseling center. So really lots of great centers to support you throughout your degree program. So I believe this is my opportunity to stop talking. Oh, no, one more slide. Ashley, you want to take it or will I go for it?
I can take it, yeah. Yeah, so you may remember at the beginning of the presentation, we've given you a lot of information, but you may remember at the beginning, I also mentioned that within our office, we do international exchange coordination as well. So for many students who are interested in getting that international experience integrated into their program, particularly if you're from St. John's or a surrounding area and you're looking for that study abroad experience, we certainly do offer that type of opportunity. As you can imagine, we have not really been sending students abroad for the last year and a half due to the pandemic, but we're hopeful that we will be able to continue sending students beginning next fall. So if studying abroad is something that is of interest to you, normally students will look at such a thing for maybe their third, fourth, or fifth year of their program. And there are different partner institutions around the world. There's actually more than 40 that our faculty has partnerships with in the various countries that you can see listed there right now. The great thing about studying abroad is, of course, you get to really expand your horizons. You get to study in a new environment, in a new country, perhaps learn a new language while you're there as well. But one of the things that makes it much more affordable as well is that our students do get to pay Memorial University tuition fees, which definitely does make studying abroad more affordable more attainable as well. So if you are interested in studying abroad later in your program, once you begin your studies, we'll be happy to stay in touch with you and help make plans so that that's able to become a reality. And so now I'm going to pass things along to Peter, who's going to talk about his experience.
Hi, yeah. So, as you can see, that's me right there. One of my favorite parts of the commerce program, one of the most unique parts, is the 3 work terms. As you can see, my first work term was at Newfoundland Vintners. It's a local leader in the ferment on premise industry here in Newfoundland. That was a really cool experience for me. I got to get in with a small business, and it was a marketing position. So I got to do a lot of marketing for a small business here in Newfoundland, and I had a really great experience there. And now I am here. I did 5 courses over the summer just then, and now it's my second work term semester. So I'm here at the Faculty of Business, and where I do events, promotion, and recruitment work. Yeah, and it's going really well so far, and I'm really enjoying my time. So I'm going to take you on a little virtual tour here of the school. As you can see, this is the main entrance here, and we'll start on the 3rd floor. So the 3rd floor, as you can see, 3,000 indicates it's the 3rd floor. There's 4 floors here. The 4th is mainly administrative work, is where the dean works. So there's no classes up on the 4th floor. But our newest classroom is Business 3007, and it's really engaging, and there's a lot of new technology in the classrooms, which is really cool. Here is Business 2028. So as you can see, that indicates it's on the second floor. I've had a couple accounting classes in this classroom. It's a great classroom. You can see the TVs on the ceiling in the middle of the room, designed to make sure everyone can see properly in the back. It just relays what's going on in the front of the room. Yeah, it's really cool. We have the second floor. So anybody interested in the co-op program is going to be dealing a lot with the co-op office, especially during these work terms that I'm on right now. The peer tutoring is also available on the second floor. Anybody looking to get extra help with their courses, there's a lot of availability for you here at Faculty Business with that peer tutoring program. And there's lots of places around campus where you can go and get some private study space at the Faculty of Business specifically. There's a couple of rooms on the second floor. They're laid out a little bit differently. Right here, you see a table and a computer where you can set up your laptop and work as a group collectively. Other rooms have couches over desks for more relaxed. I see people in there reading a lot. People take breaks throughout the day. And our first floor, we have our computer lab right there. You have access to a computer when you're at MUN to come in if you need that. And then there's also couches for lounging, relaxing with friends. And then next we have our white trading lab. So this is where a lot of the work by the fund is done. Those white computers there are the Bloomberg computers, which are technology to analyze the stock market. And it's really state-of-the-art technology that we have to our advantage as business students at Memorial. And then we have our atrium, our RBC atrium. It's sort of a hangout. You can do lots of studying here. I personally have studied a lot in the atrium. Also a good spot to meet up with friends in between classes, have lunch, that sort of thing. But yeah, there's lots of spots around the business building where you can get great work done. And lastly, one of the best advice I could give you coming into Memorial would be to sit down with an academic advisor. Ben, Ashley, and Denise are all great, and they'll really get you set up to start your time here at MUN.
Thank you, Peter. And it's great having Peter in our office this semester. So he's contributing greatly, and we're really happy to have him on board with us. So thank you, Peter. So Ashley and I are going to wrap up. We have a couple questions there that we've noted in the chat. So we encourage you, if you want to get your question in the queue there. And we'll start with responding to the first question. But yeah, anytime you have questions, certainly you can reach out to us here at Memorial University. There's all sorts of contact information. I know the Office of Student Recruitment will be passing along some great information to everybody and passing out, sending along information, newsletters, and keeping you up to date. And if you want to hear directly, or if you have business specific questions, Busy Help is your address to go to. We have an excellent first responder on Busy Help, Rosemary Din, and she will make sure that we get the questions and get the answers to you. So I think our first question there, Adnan, did you want to facilitate the questions, or would you like us to? Yeah.
Absolutely. I did have some questions noted here. First of all, I'll thank you, Ashley and Peter, for this exciting presentation. It just shows how much opportunity the Faculty of Business Administration has to offer to students. And as an alumni and graduate of the business program, this got me excited. And I'm so excited as well to see that we have so many attendees here interested in this program. So without further ado, let us start with the questions. And just a reminder to our audience as well, we're a little bit halfway past our session here. If you have any further questions, do not hesitate at all. Please use the Q&A feature or the chat to ask us any questions. But the first one here was, in which year do students start their focus area or specialization? And this student in particular was interested in operations management.
Okay, so students can begin business electives early in the degree program. So we're looking at third year of the program. There's an opportunity to start with maybe 1 or 2 business electives. If you're looking at the Bachelor of Commerce program, there might be a little bit more flexibility. If you're looking at the cooperative program, it's structured, so you would have to do it around the structured electives. Most students will start really digging into business electives if you're doing the cooperative program in term 5 and certainly following through to term 6 and 7. So it is later in the program for the cooperative program. Like I said, a little bit more flexibility. That's why we tout the flexibility with the Bachelor of Commerce program, the non-cooperative. You also asked was about which focus area, sorry, Adnan?
It was
Industry?
operations management.
Operations management. So our offerings are more sporadic with that particular focus area. And over the next year or so, by the time this particular group of students starts moving through our programs, we may have some revisions to our focus area. So I won't highlight that too much right now. But information regarding course offerings will be available on our website, and we are moving towards having those focus areas added to the website. And like I said, those opportunities will become available to students in probably as they approach third year of the program.
Thank you very much. And there are so many focus area within the Faculty of Business Administration. Peter, I heard that from the presentation that you're particularly interested in finance or even going into marketing. Can you tell us a little bit, what got you interested in those fields?
Well, I've always been interested in marketing. I feel like I have a money mindset. Money really fascinates me, and making it and supporting local. I started off supporting local. I worked at Volcano Bakery, and I did a lot of marketing for them before I really got into it here at MUN, and I really enjoyed it. So that's what I started building my degree on. That's why I first got my marketing work term at Newfoundland Vintners. Over COVID, I gained interest in the stock market when I had little things to do, obviously. I started reading up on it, and that really started grabbing my attention. So I do plan on tailoring my degree more towards finance in these next couple of years, but that's the great thing. I only have two core courses left. So the remainder of my degree, I'm really going to get to tailor it the way I want to really focus on finance, which I'm really looking forward to.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Peter. So next question here is a student particularly interested in law. So they are asking, is there a business pathway to get into law? And are there any law courses within the business program offered at Memorial?
So I'll take that question. What I always encourage students to do, if you're looking at following up with another degree that's not offered at Memorial, to certainly follow up with institutions that offer that program. So you might want to consider, looking at some law schools to find out what types of law programs they offer. Certainly a general business program, so a Bachelor of Commerce program, without specialization could lead you down the path of corporate law. If you are looking specifically at the banking industry, you might want to look at, providing legal support for that particular organization, banks and so forth. Then you might want to consider finance. If you're looking at working with an accounting agency, then possibly pursuing accounting. It really depends, I think, on your specific interests. And then, if you look at areas such as human resources, then that can also point you down the pathway possibly of looking at labor law. So really just explore what your interests are and then look at what opportunities are available at the specific law schools that you're considering as well.
Denise, I would just add on there as well. A student who's interested in law as well, something they could consider is they could look at one of the joint degree programs. So they could look at completing the Bachelor of Commerce Cooperative as well as the Bachelor of Arts at the same time. particularly, and I'm sure Adnan would be able to speak more to this, there are options available to take classes within law and society. So while taking those classes won't authorize you to be a lawyer, it could be great exposure into that field, and it's definitely something that you can build into your program. There's also a certificate in criminology that you can build in alongside of either the Bachelor of Commerce or the cooperative program. So I think there's lots of options to customize your program to make it fit with your interests.
Thanks, Ashley. I totally went blank on the second part of that question. And political science and history as well, or any of the areas in humanities and social sciences actually offer tremendous opportunities for students looking at law school. So lots of great opportunities here at Memorial University.
Yeah, this is an excellent point, and it just shows how flexible, the commerce program is in general, because then you can combine it with different majors. You can combine it with, as you said, like a law and society major. You can even go with economics. Denise mentioned political science. So really, there's so many options to expand beyond just what you're doing with a business degree. So that's something for our audience to take note of today. So the next question, Denise, I think that came, might have popped up when you explained a little bit about the exchange program. A student asking, can you combine co-op and exchange within the same program?
Ashley, you want to?
Yeah, I can take that question. Yes, that's definitely a possibility. So for students who are pursuing the cooperative program, like Peter pointed out, most of the flexibility in that program is going to come in the latter half of your program. As he mentioned, he's got a couple core courses left to do, and then mostly electives. So normally it's in those last 2 years of the program where students in the co-op program could look at exchange because that's when it offers the most flexibility. So yes is the answer to your question, but it is available for students in the BCom as well.
Perfect. And just out of curiosity as well, like what are the countries that usually our students fly to do exchange?
That's a good question. There's definitely a few that are very popular. I would say Germany, Czech Republic, Norway, France. I'm blanking now, but those are probably the top ones I would say. But there are options in other countries as well, like in Asia, Australia, the rest of Europe. There's plenty of different options. There's so many to choose from. There's over 40, so I'm sure there's something for everybody.
Yeah, always great to have that international experience combined with your degree as well. We're talking about experience on top of experience here, so that's really exciting. The other question here, so a student asking, how can they prepare to be a good candidate for admission to the Bachelor of Commerce program? So I think we can elaborate a little bit on the subject requirement that a future student has to take here.
Definitely having a strong background in English and math is very, very helpful and will give you the solid foundation that you need for success in our program. And that's why it's such a building block in year one of our program. So definitely if you're in high school right now, to focus in those two subject areas. And of course, you need to meet the general admission requirements to Memorial University. And I would imagine that you pass that information along, Adnan, or perhaps can post a link to what those admission requirements are for students. But a solid foundation for sure in English and math. Focus in those areas. And Peter, I don't know, you're closer to this than we are. Would you agree that those are the building blocks?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely would. Math and English, I mean, that is a lot of business you're going to learn from math and English. I wouldn't necessarily say like if you don't think you're too strong in math right now, I definitely wouldn't consider myself back in high school really strong in math or English for that matter. But once I got here, my first year, I've grown so much in these 4 years. And math, which I would have probably said I hated in high school if somebody asked me, it was my favorite course in my first 2 years in Mon. Math 1090 and Math 1000. Loved it. I mean, once you get it and once you Yeah, well, I mean, once you can just pump out those equations, I really like. So don't think if you're not strong in math now, you can't do it once you get here, because that's definitely not the case. We have a lot of great professors here that will lead you to success for sure. But yeah, math and English, definitely. Yeah.
That's great, Peter. I love the enthusiasm.
Yeah, and just to mention as well that the math, within business is completely different from the math in high school, so you can bring a different lens to when you get in the program. We'll go for a last question here, and before we wrap up here. So I want to speak a little bit about work terms here. So how does the Faculty of Business help students into finding work terms, and what happens if they don't get a work term?
Well, Peter, sorry, Adnan, I had mentioned earlier that we have a very successful placement rate. And, we don't boast about it a whole lot, but I know our co-op coordinators have told me numerous times, every single time, every single student has been placed. Even during the pandemic, we were successful in getting our students placed and worked really, really hard during, trying circumstances to make sure everybody had an opportunity. Some of our students have taken on different types of things, whether it be, doing placement with the Memorial Center for Entrepreneurship. But we have a very supportive community of employers that, support our students and provide those opportunities. And they exist in the public, private, sectors, and just really far reaching here within our local geographical area. So Peter, I think you would agree with that as well. Your
Definitely. Yeah, the
peers have
co-op
been
office
placed.
does, yeah, the co-op office does a great job placing us in work terms. How it works is there's once you can log into your Mun account, and it's called My Mun Life. Basically, the jobs are going to come to you, and they give you the opportunity to apply with your resume. And before that even happens, they're going to give you lessons on resumes, cover letters, interviews, that kind of thing. But yeah, the placement is really good. I personally haven't heard of one person in my class who hasn't gotten a job. Yeah, so they do a great job to make sure that you're fully accessible and ready to have a work term and to get a work term.
Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic, especially, I mean, you're an example yourself, Peter. Now you're in a work term, and look at you now, being live and doing a presentation. So I think that's very encouraging for all students listening to us today. So with less than 5 minutes remaining, I just want to give each of you a minute to give any last tip or concluding thoughts to our prospective students or any parents watching this session today, and then after that, we'll wrap up. Would you want to start, Denise, and then we'll follow by Ashley, and Peter can give his last tips and tricks to our students and parents here?
Yeah, thank you. I think I mentioned mine already, and I'll repeat it again. But I think the most important thing that anyone can do right now is to find answers to any questions that you might have, and that can be accomplished by researching, so reviewing the website, looking at Q&As, and then second to that, if you can't find the information that you're looking for, to reach out and to ask questions. So, try to, send an email, make a phone call. Hopefully, we'll all be back, and, we're still, I guess, trying to come back to the way we were before COVID. But our campuses are open for anyone that's local, but you can definitely reach us through email and phone and the like, and just ask questions and continue to do so until you arrive here at Memorial, and you'll build your success that way. So I'll hand it over to Ashley.
Yeah, I'll just say two really quick things. It kind of goes along with what Denise was saying earlier, but business is really a fantastic program that gives you so many transferable skills. I always tell students when I meet with them when they're first interested in completing a business degree is that if you look at virtually any organization or company that's out there today, you're probably going to find somebody there with a business background, whether they started the business themselves or they are working in HR or they're doing accounting or finance or they're doing the marketing for that particular organization. You're probably going to find somebody there who has a business background. So a great program to complete as your undergraduate degree, can set you up for a lot of really wonderful opportunities. But aside from that, just to kind of echo what Denise was saying, you know, our office is here to support students. That's our role as you move through your program. You can kind of think of us as sort of like guidance counselors, but in university. So we're here to assist you along the way. So just know that we'll be available to answer questions once, you know, prior to you starting your studies and along the journey as well. So with that, I'll let Peter end things off.
Yeah, I mean, I just to reiterate how much of a versatile degree this is. I mean, I'm focusing on finance and marketing right now, but there's nothing to say I couldn't go out and get an HR job once I'm finished. I mean, really, I've taken lots of HR, lots of accounting. Like I have a really broad range of business now in my fourth year. Yeah, it's given me so much since I started. I definitely would say get in with an academic advisor. I think it's really important. You know, I think a lot of people might overlook that, but it's really helpful for your degree. Yeah, and I mean, even if I could just convince one of you guys to join here at the Faculty of Business, I'll be pleased because it's treated me really well these past 3 years.
But Peter, we want all of them to join the Faculty of Business, not just one.
I
And
think you're
Cheryl
converting
Keogh is
everyone
here
here.
from engineering, and we don't want anyone going to engineering.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll end this, and you know, thank you to our panelists and our attendees for participating to this session. The Faculty of Business Administration has some amazing programs to offer, and we hope that this session was beneficial to you. If you're interested in engineering, music, or nursing, we will be hosting academic sessions for these departments in 5 minutes, so please stay with us. Otherwise, I hope to see you tomorrow during the last day of our open house. So take care, everybody. Thank you, and have a great evening.
Thank you, Adnan. It was great.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Adnan.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
folks, for joining.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, it's 8 p.m. Newfoundland time here. Are we ready to start this session? Perfect. Hello again, everyone. Once more, my name is Adnan Malam Hassam, and I work with the Office of Student Recruitment at the St. John's campus, and I will be the moderator for this session. So thank you very much for joining us for the Faculty of Engineering academic session. If you're a prospective student, a parent, or a guardian, or even a counselor interested to learn about the programs offered by the Faculty of Engineering, this session is certainly the right place for you to be. Our panelists, they always interact with our students, and today they will start with a short presentation, just like the Faculty of Business did, and then they will be here to answer all of your questions. Before we introduce them, let us go over some housekeeping items. So this session is being recorded, so if you are participating, you're consenting to that. Your mics are going to be muted and your videos are going to be turned off because this helps us with the bandwidth. You're only going to be able to see the panelist and yourself, so you're not going to be able to see the other attendees. This helps us facilitate the session, but rest assured you are not alone during this session. If you have any questions, which I hope you do have, please use the Q&A feature located right at the bottom of the WebEx platform, and please select to all panelists. Do not send it to individual presenters because we won't be able to get to your questions. And if ever the Q&A is not working, do not worry at all. You can use the chat feature. So today's focus will be on the Faculty of Engineering, so please keep your questions related to that. And if you do have a question that we are not able to get to, one of our staff members will follow up with you. So with this out of the way, I'll hand it over to our panelists for introductions, and I'll hand it over to Cheryl Keogh and Andrew Stone.
Hi everyone, my name is Cheryl Keogh and I'm the Student Liaison Officer for the Faculty of Engineering and Applied Science. So I'll tell you a little bit about what I do. I have many hats in the faculty. So the biggest part of my job really is advising. So meeting all those new students, helping them with their applications, helping them get into the faculty, and then helping them straight through Engineering 1. So once you get beyond Engineering 1, you have a major, which means you also have a department. And so when you have a department, you would go there for advising and for questions and problems. But until then, the undergraduate office will support you through that. So about 80% of my job is advising and recruitment. And so I get to work with all of the students, which is great because it's the best part of, I think, being in engineering. Of course, aside from all of the cool things that happen in engineering that I get to witness. And with me tonight, I have Andrew. So I'm going to let Andrew introduce himself.
Hey guys, so yeah, like I said, I'm Andrew. So I'm a third year mechanical engineering student here at MUN. I currently have several positions in the faculty, um, including I'm the VP academic of the Engineering Society, as well. I am the CEO and owner of Locker Room Talk Health Incorporated, and I'm the lead mechanical engineering designer for Aeolus Engineering. Over to you, Cheryl.
Thanks, Andrew. And Andrew will talk to you guys a little bit more because I'm sure you'd rather hear from him than you would from me. But I'm going to I'm going to handle all of the technical stuff, things you need to know to get into the faculty, and then he'll handle all the rest. So I'm just going to share my presentation. If it's going to let me, give me 1 second. I think there it is. Don't we all love technology? Share content. Okay, here we got it now. Okay. Okay, so just in case anybody doesn't know, this is sort of the program structure. So it's exactly how engineering is laid out. It doesn't change very much. There is some flexibility in how long students are in the first year, but the terms are sort of offered where they're offered and you can't really change them. So it's the program you're getting into is a 5-year mandatory co-op program. It's is made up of 8 academic terms and up to 6 paid co-op work terms. So you need 4 successful work terms in order to graduate, but you have opportunity to take 6. And some students will take all 6. Some will just take 5, and some will just take the 4 that they need to graduate, but a lot of students will get all 6. It basically, once you get to term 3, it's going to alternate between academic terms and work terms. But in Engineering 1, there is an optional work term in that spring semester of Engineering 1. So students have up to 6 semesters to get through Engineering 1. Most students are going to do it in the first 2 or the first 3, just sit in Engineering 1 for a year and then move on to second year. But some students will take the 2 years, especially during the pandemic. We've had more students stretch out their Engineering 1 program simply because of the way that the engineering program has been offered. So last year students were completely online for the year, and that's not always the easiest thing. And then this year they are sort of in a hybrid, but after Christmas we hear that we are returning to normal classes, so everything will return to normal, or I guess as normal as possible right now. But so our term 3 and beyond are back on campus, but the Engineering 1 students were sort of in a hybrid situation. So it'll be exciting for us all to get back on campus together, for sure. So this is what the Engineering 1 year looks like. So it is made up of 11 courses and a professional development seminar. So it's pretty much a continuation for a little bit of high school. So you're going to take an English course, first year English. You're going to take a chemistry course. You're going to take 2 levels of calculus. You're going to take a linear algebra. You're going to take 2 levels of physics. You're going to take 4 engineering specific courses, so a course in statics, a course in programming, a course in engineering graphics and design, and a course in mechanisms and electrical circuits. And then you're going to take what we call 200W. So 200W is our professional development seminar. It's offered to students in Engineering 1, but it's preparing you for that first work term. So it's going to walk you through things like skills that you'll need for your work term, such as how to do your resume, how to write cover letters. They're going to work on interview skills. They're going to talk about workplace etiquette. They bring speakers in from industry on a regular basis to cover different topics. But basically, it gets you ready for that first work term competition. And you just have to take that engineering 200W just one time. And like I said, students take it in the Engineering 1 year. So it's offered in the fall and in the winter. And depending on if you're aiming for that spring work term, you pick sort of where you take it. Okay, so engineering is broken up into 6 majors. So we have civil, computer, electrical, mechanical, ocean, naval, architectural, and process. And so if you talk to any engineering students, once they're in their department, they're all going to say that their department is the best. So I'm sure that Andrew is going to taint his information a little bit towards mechanical, but they're all fantastic departments. And students are pretty happy once they get in there. So once you get in your department, it's a little bit of a different experience than Engineering 1, because Engineering 1 is a big mash of just courses you have to take, a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of physics, some math. And some of times it's like that when you get into term 3, but it's more of a structured program, and you're going to start that program with the same students that you're likely going to finish the program with. So you're going to get a real a real, I guess, sense of camaraderie, and you're gonna, make some friends because the students that you start with on day one are usually, for the big part anyway, the majority of those students are the ones that are going to be with you when you graduate after term 8. So I'm not going to get into the majors in specifically. If you do have questions, I can answer a little bit of questions about the major or about a major in particular. And I'm sure Andrew is going to talk a little bit about mechanical when I give him a chance to say some stuff. So how do you get in? So admission is competitive. It's based on grades. There are sort of two ways into engineering. Most students are going to come to us direct out of high school. So out of high school, we're looking for 80% or better. We're looking for courses in advanced math. We're looking for courses in English and science. Typically, that's going to be chemistry and physics. If you don't have all of these areas, of course, you still can apply for admission. The math is pretty important piece, but students do get in without the chemistry or without the physics or without the chemistry and the physics. So there are workarounds for some of that stuff. And current Memorial students can apply into engineering in any semester. So engineering used to just be a fall start program. But now you can start it in the fall, in the winter, or in the spring semester. Of course, when you're accepted into engineering really dictates how long you're going to stay in engineering. So like I said, students have up to 6 semesters, but that's only if you start in the fall semester. If you start in the winter semester, then you have 5 semesters to get through engineering 1. And just because of the way the program's laid out. So if you remember back to, I should just go back for a second. So if you, like I said, academic term 3 always happens in the fall. And so basically you have to be finished your engineering courses before the end of, or by the end of, sorry, your first or your second spring semester with us. And so that's why I say it depends, because if you start in the winter, like I said, you would have winter, spring, then fall, winter, spring of the next year. If you start in the fall, then you get all 6 semesters. So to be eligible for consideration, a current student must have a cumulative average of at least 70%, so a cumulative average of everything they've taken at MUN to date, as well as obtain a grade of at least 70% in 2 or more of the non-ENGI Engineering 1 courses. And so just flick back to that list really quick, because like I said, this is the Engineering 1 courses. So on this list, you can see that there's an English, a chemistry, 3 math, 2 physics, and then the 4 engineering. So they're looking, if you're a current student applying in engineering, they're really looking for at least 2 of those non-ENGI courses with a 70% or better. Of course, the more you have, the better it is for you, and the higher you have away from the 70, of course, the better it is as well. Applicants must still meet English language proficiency. So if you apply to the university using English language proficiency, you will be expected to provide that for your engineering application as well. So the English language proficiency requirements are a little bit higher for engineering, sorry, than they are for Memorial General. So I'm not going to go through it, but you can see that I have it here on the screen, and it is in the academic calendar as well. So we will accept TOEFL, IELTS, and CALE. And even though you have to submit an English proficiency requirement, you still would be required to have a successful completion on our English. So once you apply and your application is pre-screened, you would hear from us if you had to write the EET with directions on how to access it. The EET is really it's not a means of keeping students out. It is part of our application process, but it's more a means of assessing the level of communication that applicants are at. The program has a very heavy focus on communications because we are a work term program, and because so close to beginning the program, you're already going out on a work term. So obviously the level of communication is needs to be pretty high to undertake some of those things. So a little bit about the program regulations. So, like I said, you have up to a maximum of 2 years or 6 semesters to get through Engineering 1, depending on when you're admitted. Only Engineering 1 students are permitted to take those 4 E&GI courses, so you have to be an engineering student in order to get into those courses. Term 3 is the semester where you begin your major of choice. So, and it is a competitive process to get from Engineering 1 into your major of choice. So we do have what we call a promotion average. So out of those 11 courses that I showed you earlier, 9 of them are used in your promotion average. So we do not take your Math 1000 grade and we do not take your Physics 1050 grade, but we use the other 9 courses. So the chemistry, the Math 1001 and the 2050, the English, the 4 engineering, and the Physics 1051. They're all used in your promotion average. So students with a promotion average of at least 75% are guaranteed to get their first choice in major. So that means that you have a 75%. If you get seated in the first round or the second round, you're going to get your first choice in major. So students have to have at least a 65% in order to be promoted. So if they have less than 65%, they will not get promoted out of Engineering 1. But basically, like I said, the 75 is a guarantee, and then it goes down from there. So students are seated in their classes till the classes are seated. So sometimes we see students with promotion averages closer to 65 that actually don't get seated in term 3 and have to retake courses to improve their average. Like I said, it is a competitive process out of Engineering 1 into term 3. Students are permitted to no more than 1 failure in each of the 11 Engineering 1 courses. So you can fail each course 1 time. We hope you don't fail at all, but you know, things happen, life gets in the way sometimes. So, but you are allowed to fail any course 1 time without any problems. So there's lots of supports on campus that we hope that students will use. We have the undergraduate office, which has has the advising team. So I'm part of that advising team, so the student liaison officer. We also have a director of first year, the associate dean of undergraduate studies, and we have the coordinator or the of the Engineering 1 Student Success Center, so Adrian Dobre. So he runs our Student Success Center, or the SSC, and that is specifically for Engineering 1 students. And those in the Success Center, there's computers that the students can access to sort of do their work. As well, there is, they run tutorials out of that center. They run a student instruction program each semester, and they have tutors. So the tutors are in the center 6 days a week, so Monday to Saturday, and their schedule is sort of around the classes schedule, and they can tutor. They are senior students that we hire to work that center, but they can tutor on 10 of the 11 courses. So they'll tutor you in any of the math or science or engineering, but not in the English. But we have campus-wide help centers, like physics has a help center, math, chemistry. There's a writing center, there's a counseling center, student wellness center. So there's lots of supports on campus to help you succeed. Of course, that's what we all want to see is students, you know, to be well informed, to be healthy, and to succeed in the courses. So you can find us on Facebook. You can email me. You can call me. You can visit our webpage. So this is all the places where you're going to get more information about the program. I'm sure that lots of you have questions. I can see some popping up on my screen, but I'm trying to save them till the end. So I'm going to let Andrew, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to let Andrew share his slides, because I think Andrew has a few slides, and then we can, sorry, I'm in PowerPoint in the wrong place. And so we can, yeah, I let Andrew take over. Sorry.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Andrew.
Perfect. All right. So Cheryl asked me to do a little presentation about my personal experience in the engineering faculty. So let's see here. Just to reiterate, my name is Andrew, and I'm a mechanical engineering student at MUN. I'm in my third year, and so currently I am the lead mechanical engineering designer for Aeolus Engineering, and that is a ventilator company, local ventilator company. I'm also an organic engineering student and project manager for NL Eats. As well as that, I'm the CEO and owner of Locker Room Talk Health Incorporated. That's a local medical company I started up, and I'm the vice president of Engineering Society A. And just a little business, did a little dig at us, so it proves that you don't need a business background to be a CEO of a company. Engineering from a student's point of view. So engineering at MUN is actually really great. I've definitely loved it. We got awesome facilities, and we give you tons of hands-on experience, which I think is really cool because in the real world you want the hands-on experience. Honestly, it's really challenging. I'm not gonna lie to you, but if you put the work in, you should be fine. Just prepare some late nights to the library, and hard work pays off though. And if you work hard, you'll get through it. I promise. It is a lot of fun. Although it's hard, the work is actually a lot of fun because it's you and your friends, because everyone's in the same boat in engineering. You guys are all doing the exact same courses, so we all understand what each other's going through and just late night study nights together, and it is actually a great time. I miss being on campus so much. I miss the late night study sessions so much. Everyone's super friendly, environment's awesome, and Cheryl talked about Adrian Dobre. He's like the man in engineering one. He constantly says stay strong, and all he does is encourage people to succeed. He is the best. So the main thing to consider when you look at engineering is work terms. We offer a co-op program, and you get 6 opportunities to get a co-op. These co-ops are the best thing ever because they provide you real world experience in the field of engineering, and they give you a little bit of money in your pocket too. My first work term, for example, was with Bell, and my boss told me, he's like, man, I got people applying here that have masters in engineering, but they have no work experience, so they don't hire them. It's all about the work experience at the end of the day, and that's what companies actually look for, is the work experience and not the academics. Uh, so you get 6 chances, you work for 6 different companies, and you just diversify your resume, and it's awesome. So my work terms, my first work term I worked at Bell Canada. I was an implementation manager and a design engineering student. They actually trust you a lot more than you think they would. I did over $500,000 in projects with Bell, and I designed over $100,000 worth of personal designs. I designed a new age battery, and I designed a battery distribution fuse bay. So they actually trust you a lot. At Eastern Health, I was a biomedical engineering student. I did a lot of cool stuff. I looked at about $3 million worth of software and procured it, and I was looking at designing a shoulder implant for patients. Like I said, I'm currently working at NLE as a project manager, an organic engineering student. So meaning I'm organizing a lot of the things we do, and also I'm designing a new hydroponics plant, which is really cool. And my company Aeolus, that's actually not a work term. I just do that part time. So I put another thing in here for students as extracurriculars. So engineering's obviously a lot of work, but we also do a lot of play. There's a lot of things we do. Like the society which I'm on, we organize a ton of actually awesome events. Like D-Day is the big one. At the start of every term, we all get on a bus and we go to a big field, and we all have there's music. It's sponsored by Red Bull. We rant and we roar, and it's a great time. We also have flip cup tournaments. Last week, no, 2 weeks ago for Halloween, we had a flip cup tournament. Me and my group dressed up as Pitbull for Halloween. We didn't win, but can't win them all. Other than that, we have sports leagues. Like we have dodgeball, basketball. We have everything. It is actually a laugh and a half. We have recreational softball games. I know that sounds kind of lame to people, but it's actually one of the most fun things I've done. That picture there is me and my teammates. Me and my teammates at a softball game. And I said, you make a lot of friends. I didn't know anybody in this picture until engineering, and now they're all my best friends. That was a laugh. We rented out the Bannerman Park for a day, and we all had a great time. And we also do bus crawls, do some bar hopping. It's awesome. Finally, engineering offers a ton of clubs, and these clubs offer your first real experience in the world of engineering. Like for example, there's Baja, which is a cart in the middle there. You basically get team designs a big cart, and they go to competitions, and it's really cool because you actually get to do hands-on engineering stuff. There's Hyperloop for all you Elon fans. They're like a Tesla fed company. They're like a Tesla-based competition, and it's really sweet. They have a chapter here, and for people who are not as hands-on and want to do more like the a nonprofit work, there's Engineers Without Borders, which I'm the finance exec for, And it's really cool. We just talk about issues and how we can resolve them around the world using engineering. We have a ton of other clubs like Concrete Toboggan, Chem E-Car. It's sick. We have a lot of cool clubs for everyone to join. So I kept it short, so I just want to leave off to advice. Engineering is hard, so you got to work hard. But if you don't do what you enjoy, you're gonna burn out. So I consider going out with your friends on Saturday night. I consider that work because if you don't, you're gonna burn out. You're not gonna be able to work on Sunday. So work hard, but have a lot of fun. And second point is only join clubs if you genuinely enjoy them. Going to a club should be a break. It should not be more work. I go to clubs because I enjoy them. Like Tuesdays, I got EWB. It's a great time, and it's my break for the day while I'm studying. And don't give up. Like Cheryl said, there's 6 disciplines in engineering. There's actually a seventh. It's called business, and you don't want to be part of that one. So don't give up and go to business. So thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. You can reach me at social if you guys have any questions or anything. Put my social media up there or follow me on LinkedIn. If you have any questions or any concerns or want to bounce some ideas off me, let me know. Thanks.
Thanks, Andrew. So I can see, Ednan, that there are some questions, but very quickly before I go on, I'm going to have to say that I was just at the tail end of the business presentation, and business said that they don't want any students to come to engineering. So you can see that we have a healthy competition. Obviously, Memorial business programs and engineering programs are all great programs and do what makes you happy. But of course, the engineers don't want the students go to business and businesses want students to go to engineers. Our buildings are right next to each other, but yeah, we have lots of healthy competition. Um, and like I said, it's the same within engineering faculty between the majors. So, you know, if I had some students from other majors here besides Andrew and mechanical, they would all be, you know, saying that theirs is the best and doing that kind of
Yeah,
thing too.
the
So,
faculty even leans into this competition. We have engineering versus business hockey games. They're actually a lot of fun because everyone gets really hyped up. It's a riot.
okay, so
Awesome.
I'll address a couple of questions that I noticed in the chat while Andrew was speaking. So there was a question about electives in Engineering 1. So there are no electives required in Engineering 1. If a student comes in with credits and they have space in their schedule, there are some electives from the degree that you can sort of move around. Engineering doesn't have a ton of electives. We have a small complementary studies component, which includes like your first year English, but it has a couple of like courses from humanities and social sciences. But there's also in some of the majors, there is technical electives that you can choose, but the program is pretty straightforward. Like I said, there is some choice, but a lot of it is a set program. I had a student ask about transferring from CNA. So that's the kind of question that I would love to answer in person or like one-on-one. So I will put my email in the chat and I would have that student email me because it's not always as easy as just talking about transfer credit because sometimes there is transfer credit, but um, you know, it's let's have a chat. How many students in each major? So we have 6 majors right now. So mechanical is our largest, and it varies sort of year to year. We usually have about 200 students, probably just over 200 students in term 3. So we usually accept probably anywhere from 250 to 330 students in engineering 1, and we usually have somewhere, you know, 200 to 250 in term 3. And that's a natural drop off, and all engineering programs experience the exact same thing. Basically, you know, students come in not knowing what engineering is and decide it's not for them. Some students stay in engineering 1 a little bit longer. Like I said, stretching it out over the 2 years in order to do better. You know, and some students go off to business. But yeah, so we have lots of reasons why our student numbers dwindle from first year to second year. But we do retain a good portion of our students. So like I said, mechanical is probably our largest class, and From there, it's civil and electrical are probably on par. And then we have three smaller classes, which is ocean, naval, process, and computer. So I know the question was about ocean and naval in particular. So ocean naval is a pretty specialized program, so it's not everybody's first choice. So the program can take anywhere from probably 30 to 45 students, but usually we see smaller numbers than that. So I think this year they're at, I want to say somewhere around 20. And like I said, they are more specialized programs, so it's not everyone's first choice. Mechanical is probably the largest just because mechanical is a very broad field of engineering, and so a lot of students will go into that field just because it opens a lot of different doors. Of course, you'd be more restricted with a specialized program such as ocean naval. Not to say that that is not a great program, because our ocean naval program is excellent. It's one of a kind. It's the only one in North America that is a mandatory co-op program, so you're going to graduate with work experience from ocean naval sector on your resume. Um, so, okay, somebody asked, how do you choose your major? So you have time, and lots of students come in without any idea or what they're going to do. I'm going to ask Andrew. Andrew, did you know when you came into engineering that you wanted to do mechanical?
No, not even a little bit. I wanted to do computer, and then I did. You do a programming course term one, and it wasn't my cup of tea, and I really liked statics, so that's why I chose mechanical.
So lots of students are just like Andrew, and they come in and have no idea what they want to do. But you have lots of opportunity through those four engineering fundamental courses to kind of find out a little bit about the majors. But we also offer information through first year that would give you more information about what the majors entail and what kind of things are involved with the majors. So, like for example, usually in the fall semester, I'll organize what I call the major seminars. And so at that time, the department heads for those majors come in, say on a lunch hour, and they would give a presentation where they talk about what kind of courses you would take in their major, what kind of jobs you can get once you're finished their major, what kind of money you're going to make, what kind of work terms you can do, that kind of stuff. So they try and give you some information. Then in the winter semesters, I usually organize what I call the open houses, where those majors or departments will actually host the students. So they'll bring in a lot of senior students to kind of answer questions. They'll give probably a short presentation. They'll tour you through the labs that are used during their major. They'll have like a little social time, but they give you lots of opportunity to get your questions answered. If you have questions and you can't attend the seminars or you can't attend the open houses, we're always happy to, connect you with a senior student in a particular major if you have questions, or with a professor or someone from that major that could answer your questions. So there's lots of opportunity to kind of find out more about the majors before you have to choose them. And you're going to have at least your fall and your winter complete before you have to choose a major, because students don't have to tell us which major they want to take until the first day of spring classes. So lots of time to find out more about those majors. So somebody asked if there are co-op opportunities outside of Newfoundland. And I can see Andrew saying, oh yeah. So I'll just say that yes, a good portion of our opportunities are in Newfoundland, especially of course during the pandemic. But we do have them across Canada, into the United States, internationally. I've seen students go sort of all over the world. They don't want to pick anything that is sort of in Canada. So it really depends on what kind of experience you want. And maybe I'll let Andrew put his little 2 cents in on this one too.
Yeah, you can go all around the world. For example, my sister moved to Ghana for 4 months. She lived in Africa and worked for a small startup there. I noticed that the person who asked this question is the same person that asked about Ocean Naval. Ocean naval is very, very easy to travel for. Like Australia and New Zealand, the jobs down there for ocean naval are plentiful. Like you can like if you're doing ocean naval, you can travel all around the world. So and the co-op is super understanding when it comes to like moving around the world. Like you're the only thing you're limited by is immigration. That's the only thing you're limited by. I know sometimes it can be hard. Like it'd be hard for me to go to the States as a Canadian citizen, but like you're not limited by anything. There's jobs all around the world. It's great.
Thanks, Andrew. So somebody asked if the major is allocated purely based on your promotion average in engineering one. So yes and no. Obviously, you guys have to tell us what major you want to study. So basically, how we work it is that we ask you to rank your top four choices. So you would pick your first, second, and third and fourth choice out of the six majors, and they put all of the students in a huge spreadsheet by major, and they basically go down that spreadsheet and they put students in those majors until those majors are full. So the thing is that I keep saying it's competitive and it is, but I want to say that I have seen years where like 85% of the students get their first choice, and I've seen years where 100% of students got their first choice. So it really depends on like your grades as well as what students want that year, because it really moves around. When I first started with engineering, probably the process program and the ocean naval program were super tiny and they weren't everyone's first choice, which, they're still not everyone's first choice, but now, they're a higher choice than say, oh, I can't even think now which ones. Like civil was a little bit lower on everyone's wish list this year. So it really depends on the students that come in. And like I said, what those students want and then what your grades are. I mean, the best way to guarantee that you get your first choice major, of course, is to get that 75% promotion average, which is not an impossible reach. I mean, the students that are getting accepted into engineering are they're the top of the top. They're the best students. So they're competitive coming in, and it's just a matter of putting your nose into your books and keep going with that work ethic that you had from high school, and keep getting good grades. Uh, Okay. So somebody asked about process. So process is probably our newest major. It's been around for a long time. It's been around longer than I have. And basically, students don't always understand process engineering. So if you went into a chemical program, like chemical engineering is covered under process. It's just that we've chosen to focus in on certain parts of chemical engineering or process engineering just due to the industries that were here at the university or here in Newfoundland. So like the mining industry, the oil and gas industry. But like process students, it's a very environmental form of engineering. And it's all about safety. It's all about renewable energy. It's about recycling. It's about taking raw materials from the planet without destroying the planet, and then how do we use those raw materials? So, it's a great program. It's really interesting because they can work in anything from like the processed food sector to pharmaceuticals to makeup industry. So it really just depends on sort of what you want to do at your process program. Are the courses taught by professors or TAs? I want to say I haven't been an engineering student, so I'm going to say that as far as I know, they're taught by the professors, and I'm going to let Andrew answer. I would think that sometimes some courses are probably covered by the TAs, but I feel like in engineering, the TAs do more of the support work for the professors.
Um, it depends on the prof. Some profs like the TA does nothing. Other profs the TA does the vast majority of it. What happens the majority of the time is so you usually have core classes and then you have tutorials where they do the practice problems. In the class they teach you the theory and in the tutorials they teach you the problems. The professor will teach the course, but the TA does the practice problems. But the professor obviously attends the practice problem sessions as well, and they're always there to answer your questions. So it's usually a mix. But the professor is always there though, even if they're not teaching, they're in the room.
Thanks, Andrew. Cloud computing offered as a major at MUN. I'm sure that it's something that is covered. I can't say that it's a major. I know that there are technical streams within most of the majors. That is something I would have to look into, like I said, because I'm not an engineering student, and my specialization really is engineering one and getting the students through their first year. So that is definitely something that I could ask you, or I could find out for you. Like I said, pop me an email at ianjared-liaison and I'll find out the answer to that for you.
I know they do a lot with it in computer engineering.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, it's it's they're trying to stay as up to date as they can, and of course, staying ahead of the technology, which is not always possible. But you know, so someone just asked me for my email. I'm going to pop that in the chat again. Okay. Don't worry about asking questions because that's what we're here for. Um, I just missed one. Hang on now. Okay,
One of
so
them is
yeah, you
one
go
of them
ahead.
is our assessments practical based. Um, Depends on the course. For example, if you're doing a math course, obviously it's going to be, a calculus question. It's not going to be fully practical based. But for example, in first term, you do a course called 1030 Graphics and Design, and that's a SolidWorks course. And your test for that is they give you a part and they say, build this in SolidWorks, and that's your test. And you got to build it in SolidWorks and give it to them, and you gotta like design it in SolidWorks and give it to them. So that's a very practical based test because supervisors have literally asked me to do that on work terms. So it depends on the course.
Okay, so somebody asked me about, can you decline your major if you don't want to study that major? So obviously, I mean, some students come into Memorial and they only want to study one type of engineering, but you would be surprised on how many students come into Memorial and after their first year in the program, they would study this type or this type, and be happy with it. So yes, you can decline it to a degree. There are basically two rounds of seating. So students who are seated in the first round of seating, and there's all kinds of regulations on who's seated in which round. But if you're seated in the first round and you're assigned to something that you don't want or you change your mind, you can go back into the competition for second round and to get another choice in engineering. Um, in the second round of seating, there's not as much changing around. And like I said, students are usually pretty happy with what they've been assigned. Like I said, anywhere from 85 to 100% are getting their first choice. So yeah, I don't know if I missed, did I miss any
Cheryl,
questions?
yeah,
Yeah,
there were some questions in the Q&A. I think it's different from the chat that we can
sure.
go through. There are actually four of them right now, so hopefully we'll get the time to go through them. So first of
Yeah.
all, it was what is the difference between computer engineering and computer science?
Um, okay. That's a really tough question for me to answer, and I've had that answered by the head of the department a whole bunch of times. What I can tell you is it's really a difference in focus. So, I mean, the computer engineer and plus computer science is not an engineering degree. So, it's the computer science is a little bit more flexible, but it also offers different choices in the computer sector than the computer engineering program would offer. And like I said, you're coming out of the engineering program with a professional engineering eligible degree versus a computer science degree. But that's another question that I'd love for the student to get in touch with me because there is lots of specifics, it's very fine details. And in some universities, computer science and computer engineering are more crossover than they are at Memorial. I mean, if you go into computer science, you're going to study some programming. If you go into computer engineering, you're going to study programming. But really, it's the big picture, it's the field that you want to go into after you graduate that's going to dictate whether you take computer science or computer engineering.
Yeah, perfect. Especially those are very, in-demand careers right now. So that's why I think there's a lot of questions coming up.
Yeah.
The other questions that we had, it was a student asking, how can they prepare themselves in high school to be a great candidate for engineering one?
So I would say keep your grades up. So the thing about engineering that some students don't realize, and I always forget to mention it, is the application process for engineering is a bit of a two-step process. So you're going to apply to Memorial and you're going to get accepted into Memorial and you're going to get a letter from Memorial, a provisional acceptance that tells you you've been accepted into the Bachelor of Science. And then you say, hang on, I applied to engineering. But once that process is finished with admissions, the application process does come over to engineering and then it's screened by engineering and you'd get a different letter from engineering one, or from engineering themselves. So with the, I'm totally forgot the question. Sorry.
No problem. No, the question was how do you actually prepare to be a good
Right, prepare
applicant? I think it
yourself, right?
was, yeah, I think the student was mostly asking about like, what kind of subjects they have to take,
Yeah.
to be a good candidate. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, the most common things that engineering is going to look at your advanced math, your English, your chemistry, and your physics. So, I mean, those are the areas that you want to sort of focus in on, get good grades. So, I mean, the ultimate way to prepare for engineering is to get good grades in those. So, over 80% in your English courses, your advanced math courses, chemistry, and physics. And having both levels of chemistry and physics will really help you in engineering. You can, like I said, move through the program without having the chemistry or without having the physics or with only having, first level kind of thing. But you want to, focus in on your studies in grade 11 and in grade 12 because you're applying and into university sort of when you're in your grade 12 year. So we're looking at your application based on only final grades. So we're going to screen you based on your grade 11 grades. And so you want good grades in grade 11 as well as in grade 12. And I would say just, be an overall um, good rounded student, get involved, do things that interest you, get involved with some competitions, that kind of thing, volunteer, be a
Yeah,
good student and just be well rounded.
that's what I was gonna say. Diversify yourself mainly, right? Just get used to a good work ethic, and mess around with computers and just mess around with Excel a bit. Make sure you understand physics and math good, and you should be fine. But just try to diversify yourself. Make sure you got a good work ethic.
So, and then I just see a quick question there about the difference between the Marine Institute and Memorial's engineering program. So, the Marine Institute, you're correct, is more of a technical program, whereas the Ocean and Naval Architectural Engineering program at the St. John's campus is a professional engineering designation. So, when you graduate, you're going to have, like I said, the academics from the Ocean Naval program, as well as up to 6 work terms. And then you're going to, after an in training time, you're going to be professional engineering eligible. So the Ocean Naval program or the Naval Architectural program at the Marine Institute is more of a technical program than the PEng.
There are a few questions that came in. Maybe try to take whatever you can, and then we'll follow up with the students that we were not able to get questions to. Yeah.
Sure. Um, okay. Let me see. What have I got? Are there any integrated programs for undergraduate and McMaster doctoral? So we do have master's programs as well as PhD programs, and we do have the fast track master's program. So students in their undergraduate can sort of start on their master's program as undergraduate students. And so in term 6, I believe they sort of straddle the undergraduate program and the master's program. So it's a more of a fast track option, letting you finish your master's earlier. But yes, we do have undergraduate degrees, master's degrees, and doctoral degrees, all in engineering. Okay, so I'm getting my high school results and certificate in June. Do I have time to apply for the fall semester of 2020? So, like I said, engineering will look at final results, but they will look at final results from grade 11 as well as grade 12. So some students are going to get accepted into engineering, like final acceptance into engineering based on grade 11 grades. And some students we're going to put on hold and wait to see their grade 12 grades. But yes, even though your final grades from grade 12 are coming out in June or July, yes, you can still apply for the fall semester in 2022. So the thing is that when they screen your grades for in grade 11, because the person now also says that they might be doing better in grade 12 than grade 11, um, they'll make a decision. And so what we usually tell students is sometimes that decision is a no, but if you do significantly better in grade 12 than you do in grade 11, what I recommend to students is actually reach out to the admission committee and basically ask the admission committee to take a second look on your application based on new results. And so they would reopen your application based on your grade 12 results instead of your grade 11 results. Like I said, some students from grade 11, if they're sort of on the cusp where we know they're competitive or they're close to being competitive, their applications will get put on hold and we'll make decisions on them after their grade 12 grades are released. So someone's asking me about like specific computer programs and specific computers. So yeah, there are some specifications on a computer if you're going to buy a computer before you start the engineering program. Once again, like reach out because we do have an engineering computer support department, and so they will give you specifics. I wouldn't say there's any specific programs because usually the programs themselves you're going to run on university owned computers because we have licensing to run those programs on the university computers, but not for students to put those programs on their own computers. And so for the most part, you're not going to be running engineering software unless it's something that you purchase yourself. But once again, reach out because our ECS department would give you specifications on or like little tips and hints that would help you to purchase a new computer and sort of what kind of programming that you might be accessing. Uh, yeah, so tuition and meals and residence, yes, it's all the same sort of fees for the spring semester and the winter semester, so or fall and winter. Residence there's not as many options in the spring semester for residence as there are during the fall and the winter, simply because it will be a smaller group that will stay on campus during the spring semester, if at all. But yeah, we do have lots of living arrangements, and yes, the fees don't change in the spring versus the fall and the winter.
Perfect. Cheryl and Andrew, we have about 2 minutes left. So what I want to tell our audience is, if you have further questions, please reach out to Cheryl or Andrew, or you can reach out to myself at admissions@mon.ca. So we have all these email addresses in the chat. If not, Ariane, could you please have those email addresses in the chat so our attendees can follow up? But with 2 minutes remaining, I'd like to give Andrew and Cheryl the chance to give one last tip to our attendees, or whether they are parents here or even students, that could be helpful. And Andrew, would you like to start with your last tip?
Yeah. Guys, to everyone, I really recommend trying out engineering. Like it is actually, I love it. It's a lot of fun. The work terms are a great time. You can't go wrong, and you don't have to answer the question, what do you want to do with your degree? You don't have to answer that question ever, so that's always nice.
And Cheryl?
Sure. I want to just say that there are no stupid questions. We have a great support team. Reach out for help on anything. I am happy to speak to a parent, a student. Of course, when I'm speaking to a parent, I have to be careful of what I'm speaking to the parents about. But yeah, like reach out if you have any questions about the program, even previous to entering the program. We're happy to answer any questions that we can that will help you either get into the program or through your first year for sure.
Perfect. So thank you very much to our panelists here today, Cheryl, Andrew. You answered some fabulous questions, and thank you so much to our attendees for taking the time to come today and ask all of those questions. This just shows how much you're interested in the engineering program at Memorial University. And remember that engineering is a competitive but a rewarding field, and the Faculty of Engineering at Memorial is one of the best in Canada. So with mandatory work terms, this will definitely bring high value to your degree. If you have further questions, again, please make sure to connect with us. We are happy to follow up with you. And maybe Cheryl might need to host another session like this for for students, you know. And for our attendees here, I invite you to join us tomorrow, same time, for the last day of our virtual open house for 2021. So thank you ever much. Thank you very much again, everyone, and take care. And we hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you, Ednan. Thank you, everyone, for coming.